Welcome. This is the Waves of Profit. Keep wanting to call it the Profit Hour, but really we're only going to take 5 or 10 minutes. It happens to be April 8th. We are looking at what's happening in the stock market with options for today. I'm Scott Patton. Joining us as usual is Alan Maxwell. We're going to be looking at doing 10% in 10 minutes. Is that possible? Can that really work? And the beauty of our replay system is you don't have to believe us. You can take our courses, figure out our philosophy, practice any time of the day or night. You don't have to wait till the market is open to do paper trading. You can actually use the Waves of Profit software to practice any day going back 5 years, and it will act exactly the same way as the market acted. So it's basically the same as live trading, except you can do it 24/7. Practice, 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 and we're going to show you once again it was possible to make that 10% in 10 minutes.
Yeah, Scott, and you know, one of the things that we get occasionally, because I understand if it's new to you, it's, you know, a healthy skepticism is a good thing. So we're going to go look at a couple trades here, but I'm going to show you the actual option prices. Yes, the stock moves a certain amount, and I actually have a very interesting one for conversation today. So here's WBI, which is 500.com. And so, you know, I pressed the usual, you know, fits our rules, got into the call. So here's 1 minute, and we made 6%, and the second minute it jumps up to 23%, and maybe if you wrote it to the top you could have got out for more, but I'm going to hit the sell button. And but before we move on that one, I want to look at this stock in some detail, and we're going to look at some option pricing on this one. Here's the point: is you go, well, why would you buy an option? And normally we don't buy stocks that are this cheap, because really, if it's here at just about $15.60 and you bought the stock, and then you got out here at just over $16, so we'll call it 50 cents out of 60 cents. Let's just, and this is rare and unusual, but we're just going to go do this. So if I've got 50 cents out of $16 and times by percent, that's 3%. Oh, yeah, that's how it is. Let me just make sure I did that right. So 0.5 divided by 16, right, times 100%, right? That's 3%. Oh, what did I do there? I screwed up somehow. Anyways, it's 3%. I typed something wrong here, probably a plus sign. Can't operate a calculator. And I can still make money in the market. Yes. So you go 3%. Well, that's all right. Yeah, but here, this thing jumped up, and 23% is what we made from here to here. You go, wow, is that real? Well, here we're going to go look at some option prices. I got a few here we're going to show, but I want to focus on this one right here. So this is the call price. So the opening price, and that would be here, was $1.72 for the call. That was this morning. And the low was $1.50, so that was right there because the stock actually went up and all over the place, but generally moved up. So that was $1.50, and this was $1.72 right here, and that was $1.50. And you go, well, as a percentage, that's a lot. So if that's 25% out of this, that's a much bigger difference. We'll talk about that. And I'm going to just clear that and go to the end of the day so you can see. Again, this is about people that don't they don't work with these things like we do, so they don't know. So here we go. At the end of the day, that would be the closing price, which in this case was $2.20 roughly. So just so you have it, this here was $2.20. Down at the low, I guess was actually here, was $1.50. There's my penmanship. And the high on the open, which was just a second. I'm going to move this guy out of the way. The opening price, which is here, that was $1.72. Okay. Now the reason this is only worth $2.20 at the end of the day is because of time decay and volatility. But the point is, if you got in this location, and let me just draw that on the screen for you here. We'll back up to where we were. Let me put you back in time. If we go back to here, so how is this really 23%? Well, if wherever that is, I lost my, oh, here we go, here's the pen. If this was $1.72 and then somewhere down here was $1.50, then why can't this be 23% more? Well, what does it have to be? Here we go, Mr. Calculator. This is easy stuff. Is if I started out at, let's say I bought it down here at $1.50, at $1.72 times 1.23 because that's 23% more. So that means it's $2.12. Now, that's not a big dollar change. You know, we're only talking a few cents here, but the thing went. Anyways, when you work with these things, you'll see that this is real. It's not fake because the stock only moved 3% in this period of time, and it's a cheap stock, and that was my point. And yet we made 23% on the option. This is reality. This is how it works. So let's go look at another trade.
Before you do that, Alan,
yeah.
Bring out the little screen that we have that shows the percentage change, because you didn't show that, I don't think.
Oh yeah. So here's the trades I was going to look at for you for today. So here it is, 23% is what we made on that stock
in 2 days. So in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it drops up. So what we're saying is that you have a highly leveraged derivative called an option, which in this particular case a call that you bought, and it leverages things, and that's why you can have the stock move up 50 cents, but the price of the option underneath the stock, or over top of the stock, I guess, changed. Maybe it changed by, you know, less than that even, but because it's so much cheaper to buy than the underlying stock, you get a higher return on your money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the high for that stock option today was 220. So, anyways, when they're small little stocks priced like this, it's a little bit harder to see how it works because the volume's a little bit lower. Here we had 137 contracts that got traded at this price. It's not like it's a big boy. So let's go back to the more normal things, but you can see 3% becomes 20% or 10% much easier with an option than it does with a stock. So the next one that we looked at here, and this is more our regular kinds of stocks, is Netflix. So it fit our rules, and as much as this was breaking a new high here, the market was still green. And then we go forward 1 minute. Let me put this over here for you. We were down 6%. You know, I'm okay with that. The market's still green. This thing's looking all right. It's lots of good things going on, and then it jumps up to 11%. And could you get more? Maybe. Yeah. But we just tell you, hey, if you're getting paid, get paid. And the next one, which happened well after that other one, was Goog. And this is getting a little bit close to 945. But this one's looking quite strong. It's breaking a new high, and so I clicked the buy on the call. So here's 1 minute, 2 minute. You can see it's down a little. It went from 2% to 1%. That flutter is normal. Just get used to it, and then you're at 13%. And because this was a good, strong morning, you know, it did go further than that. I don't care. I got paid. So the summary for today, and I know we took longer. My apologies, but I'll show you the option codes quickly on these other ones too. Is 5% for 5 minutes, 13%. 2 minutes, you got 11%, and then 2 minutes, you got 23%. And that one is an unusual one. But we're going to go look at option prices just again for a minute on these normal stocks. So here we were looking at Netflix, and in 2 minutes it jumped up 11%. Well, the call price at the time we were looking, the open was $290, the low was $261, but the last price was $12. $12. That's about 6 times more than.
That's 600%.
Yeah, so 500% profit, 600% value change, like from 100% to 600% roughly, huge. And yeah, it has a bit of a spread, and that's normal for Netflix. This is not crazy. And here's a different, if you would have bought maybe not that option code, which was the 430 strike price. If you bought the 440 strike, which was cheap in the morning, it was 50 cents. And then, by the end of the day, it was, $4 and something. But you can see
that's
that.
8 times.
Huh?
That's 800%.
Yeah. The point about it is we're only in there for 10%. You're telling me you can't get 10% out of something that moves 600%? And you go, and we can go look at Google as well. But
wait, before you go, let's show the whole day for Netflix.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Is I want to show you the whole day that you can see where we liked Netflix, and because we just looked at that option, and then we look at the end of the day, because you'll get the whole picture. I'll just put these guys away.
Thank you.
So
so you can see for Netflix, it was a pretty steady straight up after it had that one little wobble.
Yeah, we bought it here, and we got out here, and so by the end of the day. You see, this is where prices are not linear exactly.
Yeah, it went up, then down, then kind of
up and down. So here would have been lots of money, but here, if you would have hung in, you would have made your 500% or whatever from the opening price, which was down here. So this is more than 10%, but we use the replay on a conservative basis a little bit. It's not that different than real prices, but real prices are a little bit different than the replay. This is based on averages just to keep it nice and simple. But, easily could have made your 10%, no problem.
Right. And I think that we want to emphasize again, it could just as easily crashed.
Yes.
So, it's easy to look at this and say, oh, wow, I could have made 800% on my money. And that's when the greed comes in, because is this necessarily a normal day? Maybe, maybe not. Like, who knows? And for every time we can show you something that runs like this, we can show you another one that ran like that.
Yeah, and this one looked pretty good in the morning for the setup for the upside. And
for going, for a call.
For a call. It's like, this guy's looking okay. And it's like, there it is. Yes, I'm going to go get that. Well, why shouldn't I? Well, that's what the training's about. And then I'm going to hang on. Oh, really? We've told you 1,000 times, don't hang on. Because it's like, yeah, it's coming back. And then this is where oh, shoot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, big problem that people have is being greedy. The system is not set up, just like a casino is not set up for you to make a lot of money, just like the lottery is not set up for you to make a lot of money, just like working at McDonald's is not set up for you to make a lot of money. This is not set up for you to make a lot of money. Does that mean that you can't make a lot of money? Of course not. But it does mean that you're better off taking small chunks out of it on a regular basis than it is looking for the home run.
And the tools tell you, not a good idea. Time to leave.
That's right.
Thank you, Scott.
So is that the last one we wanted to look at?
That's it. And
okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope this was helpful. Again, this is not a training session. This is just showing you that it is possible to make 10% in 10 minutes or less on a consistent basis. That's why we're doing this. If you want to know more, I go to www.wavesofprofit.com, and we have a link there to a course that we've got up now that will talk to you about options in a little more detail. It's our basic course, and we're just working on our level 2 course now, which should be out very, very soon. Depending on when you are listening to this or watching this, it'll probably be out a long time ago. Anyway, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.